Hello, hi guys. I think I should say Happy New Year because this is I think officially the first video I will be posting this year. It's not like I've been out of material. I've really been putting things together. I have some pre-recorded videos. All that's holding me back is to click on the upload button. I really don't know what is holding me back, but I would stop procrastinating and post. I just want to make everything. I'm planning on doing something. I am planning on working on something, and I will definitely post all I've been recording. So I pray everybody has been well. I pray the year hasn't been too difficult on you guys. So far, so good, right? So today is the 21st of February 2020, and I was just going through the internet and I came across this video on Instagram. It's of a 9-year-old little person and who happens to be suicidal. Okay, he has been suicidal because he's been bullied every day at all right, sorry about that break. So this little boy, little person here has been suicidal because he is being bullied in school every day. And imagine a 9-year-old actually being bullied. This guy literally every day, this boy tries to take his own life. As I watched the video, I cannot explain all the emotions that came up out of me. And in case you don't understand what I'm talking about, when I say little person here, I'm talking about someone or a kid. It could be a kid or an adult who maybe has some height challenges. They are popularly called dwarfs, but I try not to use that word because it is an offensive term to call them dwarfs. So that's what the boy is. And in the video, you could see him crying, and his mother was trying to explain that they have to go through this experience every day. As little as going to the mall is a challenge because people stare and utter really offensive things, and you can just imagine putting yourself in that boy's situation or in the mother's situation. Now, when I was watching that, what came to my mind was that this is really not a big deal. I mean, it's not really much of a big deal to control your emotions when you come across people who look different than you. We are humans. What distinguishes us, what makes us different from some animals, I would even say, because I believe some animals are even more intelligent than we human beings. It's a fact. I mean, I was just telling my friend just now that I feel human beings are the worst. They are the worst creatures because even animals do not treat themselves as bad as we humans do to ourselves. If you see some animals of maybe the same species, they don't treat themselves as harsh and insane as we humans do to ourselves. What am I trying to talk about here? You're walking on the street and you come across a human who is different than you. Maybe he's crippled, maybe he or she is, I don't know the words, I don't know how to explain it, but that person looks different than you, and that there's something going on with that person's physical appearance. What is the big deal in that you'd have to staring so much that you make them understand that you are staring? I don't really see the big deal. And even it's so sad. I know the kids might not reach this video, might not see this video because obviously, how many kids have phones? Yeah, some do, but then I'm just trying to say this because we adults have a role to play because we have kids around us. If you don't have nieces, nephews, or younger ones, you might have neighbors who have kids. There's just a way you come across kids as an adult. So it's your responsibility to instill some kind of values in those children because they are the ones who would go to school. Now, so many of us would really snap and react. We find out that either our child or our niece or our nephew is being bullied or going through a particular challenge in school. But how many of us go the extra mile to sit our kids down to find out who they are in school? They might be the bullies. What do you do to ensure that your child is not causing another child pain in school? There's really so much we can do, and it really takes not much effort. The other day I was talking to my nephew and I was telling him, Salim, do you know that you're not supposed to raise your hand at a girl, at a lady, try not to be violent and stuff. I know he's very, very quiet and reserved, but I keep on saying that, and I know when I say that, he may not really understand where I'm coming from, what I'm trying to say. And I know he's a kid. How old is he? He's barely 4 or 5, and it's normal to pick quarrels with his bigger sister. But I keep on saying that to him because he now gets used to hearing that, and hopefully it registers in his subconscious. You know, there's just little things you can do to make the world a better place, for goodness sake. A 9-year-old really trying to take his own life because children are making jokes about his height. And in most cases in the malls now, definitely kids, 9-year-olds or 7-year-olds won't be going to malls by themselves. They will be going with guardians or their parents. And their parents will just be there and not scold them and correct them or go to apologize to the other party. Really? There's so much to do about this situation of bullying. And it's so scary because in Nigeria now, there's not much awareness about bullying. I know this particular thing did not happen in Nigeria, but it happens in Nigeria. Bullying happens so much in Nigeria, but it's not being sounded as much as it should because only a few things are being seen as a big case in Nigeria or in Africa generally. So please, we have choices. You can really it's like, it's like having okay, let me make an example of so many days where I am exhausted literally from work and I have to take an Uber home. And I am literally exhausted. All I want to do is sit down in the car, quietly listening to music and drop me off in my house. I do not want to have any interaction. But then you now come across a particular driver who is just in the mood to gist. There's an option here. I could choose to be rude to the driver and like giving him attitude to pass the message that I'm not game for your chit chats. Or I could choose to just engage him because I do not know the kind of day he had. He too might have had a very, very long day and a very, very rough day, and him trying to have this conversation with me right now might just be his own way of dealing with whatever he had to go throughout the day. And then there was a day I jokingly gave this tip to my friend, one of my friends, who was talking about how he hasn't been so lucky with Uber drivers. Like he has met quite a few who were rude and all that to him. And I was like, most of the times when I am ordering or when I order a ride and I see the face of the rider to be something I might call maybe scary or uptight, what I do to prevent any negative outcome from that ride is to literally go an extra mile to engage with that driver, give him unnecessary compliments, talk about random things. And so many times, I'm not exaggerating, it turns out at the end of the ride, we both end up in a place where we are almost being friends because of how I started it. So we have choices to make. Really, really. And try and teach that to your children. It doesn't take so much to be kind. I pray we do better, really. It's so sad. You should search for that video on the internet and you'd see it and understand what I'm going on about. Yeah? So let's talk to our kids. Let's talk to the children around us. Let's just try and engage them in conversations so we try to understand who they are when we are not there. Okay? All right. So I think that's bye for now. I'm open to, we can continue this conversation in the comments section. Yeah. So bye.